What's good, sports fans? What's good, people? Honestly, just family. This is a time about unity. At the end of the day, that's really what I just want to focus on with this message. And I got a great guest for you guys today. I got Marquis Pickering here with me. He's a photographer in Staten Island, but he's in the way I met him, college running back. College running back at Pace University, scholarship athlete. Great athlete, one of the best running backs in Staten Island. I won't let him say anything less about himself, that kind of thing. So, and I have so much respect for this man. Pick, say what's up.
How's everyone doing? Marquis Pickering, as announced. A little bit about me. I work at Apple down in the World Trade Center. I'm also a high school football coach for the football team that I played for back in high school. And like Rob said, I'm a photographer, so I'm really well-rounded and I really do everything. So,
yep. Yeah. And Pick is well-known in Staten Island, and he will continue to be. And it's crazy because, we talk about this pretty often, how Marquis, I'm like, Pick, you're king of Staten Island, you're going to be one of those people. I look at you that way. Don't hold yourself to anything less than that. I hold him to that, so, and he's doing it now, this whole thing with everything that's going on right now, he's gotten to a point where, he's taking pictures, he's out there, he's with people, he's really trying to be the change that he wants to see in the world, and before we get into my first, amount of questions and, it's crazy, even me thinking about this, the way this whole thing has worked out, like my first interview I just did yesterday with Shavar Reynolds, Seton Hall guard and everything, it's getting a lot of reach, people are really, care about what we have to say. And I didn't even think it would be to the point it would be. And, Shavar, he's got his platform, but so does Marquis, Pick, this is something where people are going to watch and they really want to know what we got to hear you say, that's a big thing for us. And, a lot of this is trendy. And I really want to speak on this. The Blackout Tuesday thing. We talked about it yesterday. I called Pick and I'm like, yo, man, am I doing the right thing? I posted the square. I'm like, really, are we doing the right thing? Because what is this square doing for us? And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to post it. I'm not going to feel bad about it. But as far as the trends go, I'm off that because I'm someone who's trying to make change. I want to do these because if it changes 20 people and they're just the 20 closest people to me, that's what I want to do. I feel that passionately about what's going on and how I want to change the world that I'm going to do it in this way. That's how I feel about it. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And me and Pick in 2016 at Pace University with an Urban Male Initiative with a bunch of our friends, and we came and held everybody accountable. Let's talk about it. This is affecting us. We've been doing this. So Pick, talk about this because this we could really talk about where we've been and how we do this.
So basically saying when things would be trending and whatnot, if things are trendy, I just feel like I want people to look at things for the right way and not because it's happening because everyone else is doing it. Like I said, we were raised as a Black person, we were raised basically off of survival. That's not something to be played with. That's not something to joke around with at all. It's my suffering and everything that I've gone through in my life should not be taken as a trend. I feel like I just need people to understand that. So if you're doing something, then you're on board with it 100%. Like you said before, we were part of the Urban Mill Initiative when things like this were when these type of conversations that we're having now were popular back then. We were hitting deep roots of everything that was going on. So I just feel like where we stand right now, we're all in this 100%. This is what it is. This is our life. So this is what we're going to continue to talk about.
Yep. And before we get into what you've gotten into and just talking about how this is making you feel kind of thing, how it's impacted you, I just wanted to talk about you're being active and caring about what's going on. Doesn't mean you have to make a podcast. You have to go out and start taking pictures. Even if you don't feel too compelled to go to a protest you should, and there's no reason you couldn't do it, before curfew and all these things and doing it the right way. But, we need to understand it. We need to educate ourselves, and we also need to just keep the conversation going. That's the bare minimum that you can do. That is doing more than any social media post. There's donations you can make. These things, don't click past people's posts on your stories. Let's start clicking. Let's doing the right thing. Register to vote. Let's start, hitting. Understand what will cause this change and use the moment. All we're trying to do is use this moment that's put in front of us. I can't sit with myself every day not knowing that I didn't use the moment. That's what this comes down to. So Pick, let's talk about what happened. You're becoming a bigger name in Staten Island. You're going to do big things, and just share with us how this is going to happen. How you got into it, because you just kind of fell into it in all honesty.
Yeah, woke up one morning, checking Twitter, and people are just talking about what's happening and just George Floyd and all that. And there's people within my Staten Island community who are talking about, you guys are tweeting all of this, that, and the third, but you're not doing anything. So personally, I'm an athlete, so I take that as a challenge. Okay, I'm not doing something, so let me go do it and prove to you that I'm doing it. I told my mom, because I heard that there was a protest at Union Square, I was like, Mom, I'm going. This feels right. I'm going. So boom, I went. And the environment that I felt, it felt right. And that's where I needed to be. And I'm glad that I was exposed to that. a few other guys from Staten Island. I met up with them. We were coming back and we were just talking about how like Staten Island is just super divided between like the North Shore and the South Shore. You have predominantly minority people on the North Shore, and then you have like just your conservative Republican people on the South Shore. So that's what it is, and it's what it is.
It's no reason to sugarcoat that. Yep.
We were like, we need to address the racial tensions that are going on in Staten Island before. Not before they get to anything else, but we need to hit this because this is what's happening. Like Eric Garner, he passed away. He got killed like 5 minutes from where I grew up, and I'm just thinking like that could have been me. So let's hit the issues that are happening in our house, and before we go move forward with anything else like that. So we put together Staten Island Young Leaders Group. We have a protest coming up on June 5th. And it's basically going to be us moving from our community into the mid island. That's where there's predominantly cops and just people that are just super conservative on that side that just really can't see the perspective that we have. And we're gonna hit that, and we're gonna bring out numbers, and it's gonna be our community, and we're gonna peacefully protest because we feel like peace is always the solution. We're not coming to cause any type of violence or any type of harm. And we see that from the South Shore where they hear that there's a protest coming. So now, okay, they're going to be rioters and looters. So now we're going to get our guns and we're going to protect ourselves. So you could already see, and you could just see from like Facebook posts and everything, all that tension. So we're coming peacefully, and we just want to get our point across that we just want to be treated as equals, and we just want to address the issues that are happening on our homeland.
Yep, and that's, it's great. Like I said, June 5th is going to be a huge thing. There's plenty of information on his page about it. If you're interested, obviously that's something that we want to promote. But also, like, this speaks volumes about what's happening right now. There's plenty of picks out there who are trying to do the same thing. Kids who are like, I got to do something. This is big. Like, there's a reason why all these people are talking about it, and they're not trying to be trendy. They're real hard. Like, this is something I deal with every day. I'm going to help how I can, kind of thing. Exactly. And it's automatically being turned into something it's not. And it's because the media is going to do what it always do. You want to point towards things that are bad. You want to always point towards what's bad because that's what people want to look at. But there's plenty of you and me out here trying to do it the right way, trying to show people, trying to explain to our white friends and white people we consider family, like, look, this could be me. Y'all need to take this as seriously as if it was me, bro, because I know y'all. I know you would, but that's the type of thing you need to educate yourself to understand how easily it could be me, because we can't take us out of it. Us out of it cannot be taken out of it. And that's something that I just really am trying to harp home. Anyone who asks me, I've been consistent saying the same things. Keep this conversation going because that's doing a lot. And what Pick is doing a lot. But we have to allow ourselves to know this is what we're doing and this is how we want to do it. And there's no need to like fear. Fear is not something that we want to promote. We want to promote ourselves and keeping, our safety and us to matter. Our lives matter. That's what we want, that kind of thing. So next question, just going right back to it. Pick, where do you want to, like, what do you want to see change? What do you want to see change with this whole thing? Barack Obama was quoted a couple of days ago. He's been talking, a lot. So there's a lot of quotes with him, but one specifically, this is a moment, we need to use this moment and ask for specific change. What are things that we think need to change right now? And obviously, Pick, we don't know all the answers for this kind of thing, but just tell me your thoughts on that.
I got a few. I just feel like it starts at the top with a lot of things. But to get to the top, you gotta start from the bottom. But so I'll go from a police perspective. I feel like your trainings need to be way more rigorous and just like super like just we need more training than what you guys already have. That'll definitely change perspective. I feel like more people of color need to get the opportunity to at least get their foot into the door of being a police officer per se, because when you come from that community, it's easier to see what's really going on with your community. If I'm going into, let's just say I'm going into a neighborhood that like I've never been from, like, oh, say I'll be on the South Shore. Like, I just feel uncomfortable. Now I'm uncomfortable and I'm tense, and that's a bad situation to be in from the beginning. You can't be tense. Just go where you're from. That's one thing to be. So police reform, we could put some money into there, and we could just hire possibly my friend Dean. He said psychiatrist within police department. Get themselves where their mind is, like after a few like months on the job, like your mind not be where it was when you first started. Things have changed you. So we need to address these changes that are happening. I feel like more people of color need to get within jobs of politics and just get into like council members and get into that door as well. I think when you can speak on your community and then you have the backs of your community, you can push more things. That's very important. Like I said, you got to start from the bottom to work your way up. So now we just need to get our foot into the door and just keep moving in that door. So now we're in the door, we're walking down the hallway per se. You feel me?
I see what you're saying. And I think, even though this isn't, and Pig, I get what you're saying. I just want to make another point. Like, the police aren't at the heart of the problem. We're not saying that this is just a police problem. You know, I want it to be clear, because you know how that can go, Pick. Like, you know, it's clear police aren't the problem, but a big part of it is just that uncomfortability in a community. And community policing is a huge thing that can be a difference and needs to make a difference, because, you know, I got plenty of law enforcement in my family. You know, my cousin, my cousin Tyron McAllister is, you know, our mentor, one of our mentors, one of the people we've seen leadership. Teo Ishola is a police down in Baltimore. You know, policeman down in Baltimore. I have another cousin who's a police, you know, in Jersey Shore, New Jersey, kind of. So I understand that angle too, but we have to come to a point where everyone understands it's got to be different. I want to be a law student. I'm going, I attend Rutgers. I'm a student at Rutgers Law, you know, a Rutgers Law student. It would take me 4 years of my bachelor's degree and another 3 years of its rigorous, like, law school is no joke, you know, to be able to, you know, to defend people, to talk about the law in order to, you know, work in the system. Police officers are dealing with life and death. This is important. This, you know, so I mean, I know decisions. And it's tough. Their job's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying, but we do need to do more. We need to recognize as a society that more needs to be done and there needs to be reform there. That's very important. And I agree. That's something that we got to, you know, ask for. The UN came out with a statement where, you know, it's like a human rights crime pretty much for police officers to do things. And that allows our justice system to expedite the process, you know, that kind of thing. Because now it's a human rights issue. This is something that's that serious to people, you know, which is huge because this is the first time anything like this is even seriously being, you know, put out there, that we think of it this way, you know, which is good. It's good. There is change being made, and it's change that's being made immediately. But that's one of the things is definitely gonna be community policing. But is there anything else you wanted to say about that, Pick, on what, you know, changes you want to see? Just because I don't want to put you in a box.
No. I also feel like our educators, they need to be Black. Like, we need more or people of color within the education system. I didn't really have my first Black teacher until I was in high school, like my junior, senior year. And my junior, senior year, I'm 16, 17 years old now. And I've already been through like life almost as a young person. I'm coming up and I still haven't been able to be taught by someone that can relate to me. I think it's very important for, like, even though I played sports, like I had Black coaches and whatnot, and like they're mentors, but like in the education system, I need someone to just get where I'm coming from, you know, like a lot of these people don't understand like your whole background, so they can't relate to you. And so it goes a mile. I did when I was in high school. I pair taught. I did pair teaching, so I was pair teaching in third grade class, and like I was able to get and connect with those kids that looked like me because I understood what was going on. So that's huge.
That's a big thing too. And, you know, I went to a school where my first Black teacher, I honestly do not believe, I'm going to check this because I'm planning on having my principal on this now because he watched the last podcast and was, you know, very impressed and wanted to talk about it. So I'm going to have him, but, you know, he was a, you know, athlete at our school kind of thing. And that was the first time where I'm like, wow, there's a position of power in education, you know, and he was kind of like me when he was in school, you know. I could be that kind of thing. Like, I could look at that, but that was the first time I had that experience. You know, that's crazy. And my mother's an educator. She was in a more diverse setting, you know, and she got hired because it was more diverse. So they kind of were trying to do that, you know, that kind of thing. But also, you know, we're going to school and it's a predominantly white school kind of thing. You know, there's mostly white teachers there. Like, you're not seeing a lot of people of color in your staffs at these high schools, kind of, which is another problem. And that you saying that just clicked in my head. I got to have him on. Then he's going to be on. But anyway, that's a good point. That's a good point. And that's something we got to address because here we are, living, breathing examples telling you, like, look, the first time I saw a Black man in education in front of me was when it was this guy who was the principal. And it was big. That's big. He's the principal of the school. So that's a huge statement on its own. But it's not enough. It's not enough. This is not the time for, oh, we have a principal, so that just covers all of because we elected a Black president and we see who's in office now, you know. So let's just, I don't want to get into that, but I do want to get into the fact of we can't let these blanket statements, oh, racism's gone because this happened. That is so unacceptable now. Like, it's unacceptable. And we need to be the people vocalizing how unacceptable it is. Straight, that's just what it is, you know. That's what it is.
I just don't like the people who feel comfortable with just saying, you know what, we stand with you, we see you. What is that? Like, what are you doing? Like, you stand with me today, but But 2 months from now, it's gonna be the same exact thing, and you're still gonna feel the same exact way. Like, what are you doing? Like, are you looking? Are you soul searching? Like, come on! Like, are you understanding what's really going on here?
Yes, and
like,
the thing,
and are you willing to change that?
and that's a big part of that is like there's other way. Again, I want to stress it is not posting on social media. It's not. Like sit there and look at what other people are posting. People are posting really good things. What you can watch, what you can. I guarantee half of the people who watch this, you know, like they haven't watched 13th on Netflix yet. You know what I'm saying? Like to not even put yourself in a mindset where you're like, yo, this is crazy. Like this is it will change you. I guarantee if you're a human being, if you just consider yourself a decent person, watch 13th. Just give me that. Give me that. You watch Netflix every day anyway. You sit home all the time. The world is nuts right now. So like, bro, just give yourself the chance to fully understand what's going on right now. If you haven't done it yet, watch that documentary. I guarantee it will change a lot of your feelings about it. But moving on, Pick. We want to talk about what we're doing, what we're gonna do in the future. Most of you know, what you're gonna do in the future, how this has changed you or not so much changed you, because you know, just explain that, and what, like, you know, future endeavors, how you plan on changing your career path, your photography, like has it changed anything? Like how do you plan on going forward? You know, that
kind of thing. So the situation as a whole, it has changed me. I feel like when you look at textbooks and you see pictures of protesters and people like that, you don't understand. You may not see that they were our age. So we're at that age now where we can get out and really make our voices heard. We're not at that level. We're not at that point anymore of our life where we can just sit down and just let the day pass us. Like this is your opportunity to take that stand. I just been so vocal about the things that have been happening though. Like I decided, like, I'm going back to school, I'm getting my master's social justice. I'm doing something. I want to get my foot in the door and I want to help out. That's it. That's bottom line like that. I coach high school football. That's not going to change for me. I love that. I love working with the kids that look like me, and I love working with all the kids. But I feel like I want to help them because I know what they're going through. Like I grew up without a father, so I look for sports as an outlet. But now you can see me, a black kid or black man, and just help you. Like I'm that voice that you could talk to. So definitely be more prominent in that type of role. I definitely want to do more speakings at school. So I'm trying to partner with my high school just so I could be like that voice of a person that's seen things and not necessarily overcame, but dealt with it, and I'm getting through it. So if a kid in high school who's just been down, like they live in the projects and their mom's always working 9 to 5 and then a job right after that, and they don't really see any type of influence, they can see me and they can understand, okay, this is the way to go about things. Like my life doesn't have to be the way that it's been set up for me. I can change it. Like people need to understand that there's a change. You can do that. Definitely want to find my way to get into some type of office because we need people that look like us in the office, because without us, who's really going to understand? How can you really grasp what's really going on? You can't unless there's someone that's in that position for you that looks like you.
That's good. No, that's good. That's good. And honestly, like, I knew that answer was coming. You know, this is somebody who I have the utmost respect for, and it's crazy. This is like, this is somewhere I can just sit here and I'm promoting Marquis Pickering in the best way I possibly can, because this is somebody who I know, I love. That's my brother. That's my family. You know, and he gets it. We both get it. We out here. We're trying to do something with this. You know, like he said, he's going back. He's getting his education. He's gonna do something with everything that's going on here. You know, that's huge. But we need people to understand, if you view yourself as a leader in this world, come on, you know, like, let's do it, man. Let's really do it. Let's really do something that can better everybody, better everything. You know, that kind of, we really are trying to make a difference. And even,
all right, guys, so sorry about the technical difficulties. It'll probably cut off in the video. We just had Zoom had a moment. But anyway, I was just talking about how Marquis is somebody who grew up in a single parent household, and I grew up with both of my parents. And that's something that separates us, but it's something that we all have to recognize makes my experience different than his experience. Like, just that alone is something that this moment needs, more people to understand. When you grow up with one parent, things change for you, but that doesn't mean that, you can't be productive. That doesn't mean he's a living, breathing example of how you can still be a successful man in this world, even if that's what your situation is. And you did nothing to do that, and I respect him so much for that. He knows that already. We've been over that. But that's important. It's a message that needs to get out. That's just one of those things. And from my perspective, I had always been a part of Urban Male Initiatives, Black student associations, of whatever college I was at. That was important to me. I wanted to attend meetings. I wanted to see what was going on. I feel like we need to be the people who, I'm not that we need to run it and need to be president, but our faces need to be involved in these things, you know.
Exactly.
At Rutgers Law, same thing. I was a member of the Black Law Students Association, same thing, you know. So it's just somewhere where we need to make our voices heard too. Like, you know, I want people to hold me to it. Like, Rob, you had these podcasts, you had all these people on, you want these people watching you. You need to be in this organization. Hold me to it. I want you to hold me to it. Pick wants you to hold him to it. Let's keep it going. Like, we got to hold each other accountable, but lift each other up in the same way. Don't just call, you know, don't put somebody down if they think it's not their place to do it. But the people who are asking, I'm asking you to hold me. I'm asking you to hold me accountable, because that's the only way we're going to get change. We got to get people who we respect to make change. People who have the ability to make change need to, you know, it doesn't mean you need to change your career path. This is something that just opened Pick's eyes for his master's degree, which is huge. It's huge that we got educate Black men who want more education. You want to further your knowledge. That's so important in this world, and we can't get away from it. But we hold us accountable. I want you to hold me. If you do nothing but say, Rob, yo, what are you doing for the Black community now? Like, you had these podcasts. What are you doing? Like, do it, because that's what I want. You know, let's do it. Let's really help. Let's keep going. So, you know, Pick,
like that.
I appreciate you coming on, bro. I appreciate you coming on, and I want to let you have anything else. Anything else you want to say? We're not gonna cut it off early. None of that. What you need to say. Tell me what you need to say.
I just want moving forward, everyone just become better people all around. We all got soul searching to do, and we all can be better than what we are right now. So there's always opportunity to learn, to get better, to reach out. Always do something. Keep doing something. Do not be complacent.
And we talk about that all the time. And our biggest thing, we were talking about this while we were trying to figure out the Zoom situation and everything. It's like, look, man, we're adults now. This is a moment for us where we're realizing we talk about it. It's not something that's new. We talk about how being an adult comes with certain responsibilities, and we're finally feeling it like never before have I ever felt it like this. It's time to grow up. It's time to grow up and take that step. And this is just another way of taking that step with everything that's going on. That's all we want to do. You know, we're really, we mean what we say, and we're here because we care. That's what it comes down. We want a better world, and we want to do it. You know, Steve Kerr actually made a really good statement about that. He's talking about the younger generation just being more accepting and understanding, you know, that kind of thing. But it starts with us. People will understand if they hear it from us first that we're trying to do something with this, and we mean what we're saying every single time. So, Pick, I appreciate you, man. Again, this is Marquis Pickering, King of Staten Island. I appreciate having him on, man. It was good talking to you. We're gonna chop it up, I'm sure, almost every day with everything that's going on right now. But this is, you know, it's the Playbook, the special edition. This is the Enough is Enough series. This is part 2 with Marquis Pickering. I appreciate his time. Pick, you want to shout out your socials and just talk about the protest one more time?
You can follow me on Twitter at MAR _2 TOO, and then capital real REAL, because I'm keeping it real all the time. And then my Instagram had a _picks _PICKS. That's where I'm documenting everything, and like everything from these protests, and just anything that you need informational wise is on my Instagram. On my Twitter, it's all there too. And I'm a nice person, so come talk to me.
All right. That sounds good. Pick, again, bro, thanks for coming on, bro. I mean, if something else comes up, I would love to have you on again. I'm trying to figure it out now because I got so many people just reaching out to me and saying they want to do it. So, I mean, hopefully, you know, I want it to blow up and I want to talk, but I just want as many people on here as possible, man. Like, I just really want that. I want to hear the conversation. There's people I haven't talked to in years who are telling me, like, look, I want to come on and talk about what's going on. So I'm going to give them that platform. I have responsibility to give them that platform because, you know, this, you know, it's not like it's the hardest thing to do, but also it's not the easiest. So I just want to give what I have to people and allow them to talk, and people are going to listen. You know, they're going to listen to you. They'll listen to many of the people we're going to have on. So, all right, guys, I hope you have a good one. You know, remember, this is like, it's all about unity, man. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. We want people to understand what we go through every day as Black men, and we want you to hear it from us first. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for listening.